It's that time, y'all. Time for big. Shh. It's that time, y'all. Time for big boys boxing.
If you think I'm a pussy, I'm a punk, you tell me right now. Because listen, I am the baddest man ever fucking me.
So that'll give a bit of energy.
Yeah.
It's good night. It is all over in the 11th round.
What up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. Today, just a general boxing chat. We had a couple of fights over the weekend to talk about. Got a couple of minors coming up next weekend. Not a lot going on for heavyweights next weekend though, but that's to be expected. We have Teofimo Lopez and Vasyl Lomachenko getting it on next. So, well. So we'll just see how we go. Just a wing it show today. See what happens. Just waiting for the screen to come up. Quick sound check. Everything's tickety boo. Show today. Look it. All running okay. So over the weekend we had Nathan Gorman versus Richard Latte. Thought it may have been a pretty interesting fight. Did a bit of a commentary stream on it. To be fair, I was a little bit disappointed. I mean, Nathan Gorman got the win and he got it quite easily, but then I saw shades of jab and grab like Vlad in that fight. Seemed a little bit weary, and to be fair, I guess that was smart, considering Richard Latte has got a bit of pop. It's pretty crude though, this Latte. Okay, he's moving his head a little bit, which wasn't a bad thing, but didn't utilize his reach advantage, didn't use his jab enough. He had some half decent success with a double jab right hand, but the right hand was really wide. You could see it coming from a mile away, and Gorman was getting out of the way of them all night. So this one, and I scored the fight 98-92. The the judges scored it 91-99 and 100-90 two times. So it was an easy win, and the 2 rounds I did give Latte, one of them I thought was a close round, and I thought I'll just give it. Nice. But the first round I actually gave to Latte as well. Thought it was a very close round, could have gone either way, but the 90-100 scores, I can't argue with them either, because those 2 rounds that I did give Latte, pretty damn close rounds anyway. Hey man, is what it is. Okay, just sort a couple things out. Hey man. So, show me chat's working. Wait for a few more y'all to roll in before I get too deep into discussions. See if you join. Actually, I better go grab a link. Okay, someone jump on. Everybody, welcome to jump on these Monday shows. Give me a sec to chat. And there, mic is working. Got a new headset, so I redo a lot of my settings. Link from here. Shit. link to join if anybody wants to jump on for a yarn. Pin to the top of the page there for everybody. Rightio. So the future of Nathan Gorman. I don't know how far this kid can go, man. He's got some half decent boxing skills when he wants to turn them on. I mean, that fight he had against Daniel Dubois, I was extremely disappointed. Winging a left hook all night, missing it all night, but still keeps trying it anyway. And that, I think, was him trying to be aggressive. Paid the price for it against a heavy-handed boxer like Daniel Dubois. But it was a totally different strategy in there against Richard Latte. I guess now that he knows he can be stopped, he's out of there. He is out of there. A lot of jabs, and he was having good success with the jabs. I would have liked to have seen a few more uppercuts from Gorman, particularly when Latte lunges in with that big wide right hand and missed it a lot. The uppercuts were there for Gorman. If Latte had an inside game, could have been a bit more trouble, but absolute nothing comes to a game. He even got frustrated at one point and tried to headbutt Gorman when Gorman was pushing him back into the corner. And to me, that just points out how much dog is in Latte. He's just pure dog. Also, for me, that squashed any speculation that maybe Richard Latte was going to lie down, take a dive, money for Gorman. So that was never really on the cards, just with the attitude Richard Latte has. There was another fight over the weekend. I haven't seen it yet. I've read about it, and it went exactly as I thought it was going to be. Rising prospect Arslanbek Makhmudov knocked over Dylan Carmen in less than half a round. As soon as that fight was made, I knew it was going to be a blowout. Whoever's posted a video on it that I saw, I always dropped the comment, this will be over in under a round. It's a blowout. I think a better matchup would have been Simon Kean, guy who Dylan Carmen knocked out shockingly. I wasn't supposed to, but then Simon Kean in a rematch knocked out Dylan Carmen straight. So I think that would have been a little bit better fight, but still, Arslanbek Makhmudov is a beast. However, you know, I went back and watched it again. Watched Arslanbek Makhmudov against Junior Farr in the World Series of Boxing, and what stuck out to me was he was frustrated. He couldn't track down somebody who moves a lot. He was getting so frustrated. He was just swinging big wide shots. Quite often, Junior Farr would get out of the way, and Arslanbek Makhmudov would swing himself right over the ropes. Just about fall out of the ring. He was so clumsy. And I still see hints of that in him now. When he comes up against somebody who moves a lot, moves their head, and likes to fight at range, it could be a problem for him. But at this stage of his career, he's knocking over tomato cans, and he's doing a very good job of it. He seems to have a lot more power now than he did in the amateurs. I did watch another World Series boxing fight. Can't remember who the opponent was, but it was a Russian. The venue, the tournament was being held in Russia. I think Arslanbek Makhmudov was 2 as well at that stage, and that fight went to decision over 5 rounds as well. So whatever he's done since turning pro to up his power substantially has worked, but he definitely needs to hone some more boxing skills. It's all fine and dandy having the power to blow these guys out in one round, but these guys aren't the type of guys who are going to challenge him, because they just simply can't get out of the way of the power. They haven't got the skills to do what they need to do to beat this. So a good win for Arslanbek Makhmudov. He moves. We'll have a look actually. Arslanbek Makhmudov. They're 11-0 now. So a fight next that would be a good fight for the St. Peters. Jonathan Rice. That was expected to be a little bit longer fight than it was. Oh well, it did go 7 rounds before got to right. So there you go. There's an instant guy who can move a bit, punch a bit, and if you've not got it out, either way. And I'd love to see him fight like a Magic Cabio or something like that. Somebody who can box and move, or Joseph Parker, even rematch with Junior Farr. And who knows, after December, if Joseph Parker beats Junior Farr, then maybe a Arslanbek Makhmudov Junior Farr rematch would be in order. And to me, if he could blow out Junior Farr, who is a very defensive fighter, that would prove to me that he's honed a bit more of his boxing skill, and he's a bit more equipped to deal with the guys top of the division. I mean, he's probably still at least 10 fights away from looking at a title shot or something like that, but we shall see. I mean, there is another guy in the stable who's a heavyweight, being Oscar Rivas, but I don't see them putting stable mates together to fight. Man, there's a good one. Put him in there with Jermaine Franklin, unbeaten prospect who I don't think has a lot of talent. He seems pretty plain to me. I think he's gotten away with a couple of gift decisions, or maybe at least one. I thought Jerry Forrest beat him, or I wouldn't have argued with the draw, but they still gave split decision win to Jermaine Franklin. So I think that's a decent type of fight for him. I mean, there's no point in putting him in there with somebody like a Craig Lewis, or guys who don't throw a lot of punches, who are there to survive, who just stand in front of a big puncher. It's really pointless. And like even guys like Dylan Carmen, he got a lot of credit for upsetting Simon Kean, but then he stepped in the ring with a real boxer like Evgeny Romanov and got knocked the fuck out straight away. So yeah, I want to see Arslanbek Makhmudov challenged a bit more. We kind of know that he's going to blow away any of these half-assed journeymen, so let's move on up. We're in a difficult situation around the globe with COVID-19, and I realise it's hard to get fights, but hey, if anybody wants to fight with a crowd, you can always come down here to New Zealand, because we're allowed crowds, because we have COVID-19 under control. Not trying to have a dig at the rest of the world or anything like that. I'm just proud of how our country has dealt with the situation. So yeah, if anybody wants to get big boxing, get your ass down here, can have a venue, can fill it up, and broadcast it around the world. The only problem, I guess, with doing that would be our time zone compared to the rest of the world. Boxing events that are in the UK, usually on Sunday mornings here. Events in the US in the afternoon, around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on Sundays as well. So maybe my bright idea wasn't so bright when it comes to broadcasting, unless you want to just run an event at a time schedule for another country. Harder to get crowds in the middle of the night. Anyways, there is a link up there if anybody wants to jump on and have a yarn about anything at the moment. What else have we got to talk about? We've got Dave Allen and Christian Hammer have been confirmed to go on the Usyk versus Shura undercard in a couple of weeks, Halloween. And I see a lot of people are a little bit annoyed about it. Dave Allen's had too many chances on pay-per-view cards. I understand that, but I can see why Eddie Hearn has done it. Because Dave Allen is, no offense to Dave here, he's a bit of a sob story. He's a bit of a sob story, you know. He had a gambling addiction, used to blow all his money. Half pie box for money so he could gamble some more. He's promised several times that he's going to start dedicating himself to the sport, eat right, train better. And then he came into that David Price fight out of shape. Got retired in the fight, and now he's back on a pay-per-view card against the I guess you could say world level gatekeeper in Christian Hammer. And Eddie Hearn says it's his final opportunity, and Dave Allen's coming out with the same old stuff. Rinse and repeat for this man. Yes, I'm going to dedicate myself to the sport. Yes, I'm going to eat right. Yes, I'm going to train right. And it's getting hard to believe him, and I guess that's why a lot of people are starting to get annoyed with Dave Allen. But the fight, depending on what strategy Christian Hammer uses, I think Dave Allen's going to get beaten in this, probably on points. Christian Hammer, when he throws his hands, can do some damage, as we saw against the David Price, as we saw against Michelle Wallace. But at the same time, if he takes a couple of big shots from somebody who can punch, he shells up and survives. Or that against Luis Ortiz, that against Alexander Povetkin, and we've seen more from him as well. But I guess he's getting towards the dusk of his career nowadays as Hammer. This is the opportunity for him to possibly get himself in the running for maybe a tune-up fight for one of the top guys. I don't know, man. But I think Christian Hammer's going into that fight as the favourite. Don't think he'll knock Dave Allen out. There's not many people who do. There's a possibility that he might get a referee stoppage again. I can't see Dave Allen being able to do too much. Christian Hammer is very defensively sound. That's why he could get away with surviving against some top guys like Povetkin. But an interesting fight nonetheless. Does it enhance the card? I'm not so sure. I mean, Dave Allen sells because people want to see him succeed after being such a sob story. And I think it's getting to the end of the tether for a lot of people when it comes to that. Particularly proper boxing fans, not so much the casuals. Oh, it's Dave Allen's fighting again. He's a serious sort of guy. He tries hard. Realistically, when it comes to word level, he keeps getting it out of him. not good for his health. I don't know if Christian Hammer's got the capability to beat the living shit out of Dave Allen, like a Luis Ortiz did or Tony Yoka did, but I certainly think he's capable. And yeah, my skepticality about Derek Chisora and Alexander Usyk has been squashed now. It's definitely happening. I was a little bit skeptical about that for quite some time. I didn't think Alexander Usyk was that interested in the fight. He's got a mandatory position. He's been ordered by the WBO that WBO belt holder after the Kubrat Pulev Joshua must fight Usyk. Said he's not stepping aside for weight. And then the Chisora fight, he seemed pretty blasé about, oh yeah, I could fight him, but I don't have to, and so on and so forth. And that's true, but it's going to happen, and it's a pretty decent test for Alexander Usyk at heavyweight. I'll definitely be watching it, but certainly I am picking Alexander Usyk to win that fight. Either for me going to be a very late stoppage or a points win to Alexander Usyk. It should be a 12-round fight because for WBO mandatory position, which effectively makes it another final eliminator, even though he never fought one in the first place. Got that mandatory position being the WBO Super Champion Cruiserweight. It is right slow while I'm streaming today. Clean up. It is a 12-round. I think, you know, Derek is gonna bring it, as he always does, and Alexander's going to be evasive, hot shot him all night. I don't think there's any way that Derek's gonna be able to maul him because his feet are too slow, and Usyk's feet are far too fast. It gets close to if Chisora gets close to Usyk, he's going to be using angles, stepping around, making Chisora look like a clumsy, fat heavyweight. Now, it's been quite a while since Usyk has been in the ring. We saw him against, what was his name? Boone, not Tim, his cousin. Can't remember his name. Pretty much a nobody. And he was pretty much at cruiserweight weight still. It's been quite some time, so I'm wondering how much weight Usyk may have put on. I guess I'd like to see him around 220, 225. I think if you get above 225 for him so quickly after being a cruiserweight, it might be detrimental to his movement, so I don't want to see him too heavy. I think even as a cruiserweight on fight night, he's coming in to bring it around 215, so 225, an extra 10 pound ain't that much. That could just give him a little bit more punch resistance to the body, but I don't think 10 pound will slow him down too much. I think he's going to wear down old Del Boy, and once he starts slowing down, he'll start trying to pour it on a bit more and possibly get a stoppage. I don't think he's going to spark him out cold or anything, but you never know. You never know. There is a possibility that Del Boy could catch something, but if he's going to do that, I think it's going to like 4 rounds. because I expect Derek's going to be trying to swing for the fences. He knows very well if it goes past about 6 or 7 rounds, Usyk's going to be all over him like flies on shit. And he's not going to have the speed to cope with it. He may have the chin, sure as shit ain't going to have the speed to cope with it. Now, also something else that many people seem to be forgetting, just because Alexander Usyk was a cruiserweight, they think he's tiny. So, let me set that straight. He is 6'3", right? Same height as David Haye. He has a 78-inch reach. Same reach as Joseph Parker. Right? Now, Derek Chisora. He is 6'1.5", so he's an inch and a half shorter, and he's also got a 74-inch reach. So he's got a 4-inch reach disadvantage to Usyk as well. Now, yes, Derek is going to weigh more than Usyk, of course. Last fight against David Price. He didn't fight David Price, did he? Derek Chisora. What the fuck? Profile. Am I having a moment here or what? Is David Price was his last fight. Remember that? Or could before that. I don't know, I remember. Doesn't sound right. Boxer got. Surely. Anybody listening? If so, in the chat let me know. Do you remember David Price fighting Derek Chisora? Fuck. Must be getting old, man. But I was looking at the weights more anyway. 257 against Spilker. 259 against Senek Gashi. 246 against Dillian White. So and that second fight against Dillian White, Derek was in probably the best shape I've seen him in for a long time at 246 and a quarter pounds. So if he comes in at about that weight, which is wise in my opinion, he's going to need every bit of speed he can get. Lighter he is, the more speedy he's going to be. He's only going to be 20 pounds heavier than Alexander Usyk, if Usyk's at about 225. So, and like I say, even if Derek does come in at the speediest weight, about 245, I still don't think he's going to be able to catch up with Usyk to be able to put any weight on him, tie him up and lie on him or anything like that. But of course it's going to increase his chances of land something big on Usyk those earlier rounds if he can get him trapped in a corner and cut off the ring or something like that. It is what it is, man. It's a fairly decent fight. Fairly decent, right? Not too long after that, we're going to have Junior Farr and Joseph Parker. That's what I'm looking forward to. I've been scanning every bit of social media and whatnot I can to try and find out who's going to be on the undercard. I have heard rumors that Emiya Hio may be fighting Junior Putty. Saying to myself, no! For those of you who don't know who Junior Putty is, he's a domestic level guy here in New Zealand, but he should be a light heavyweight. Except he's a big fatty, right? Lucas Brown fought him over here and stopped him in like 2. Everybody I spoke to was like, Junior Putty should not have been in there with Lucas Brown. Not that Lucas Brown's really good or anything, it's just Junior isn't a world level fighter. I mean, he's not even really that good as a domestic level fighter, unfortunately. So I hope they get somebody better for Hemi Ahio, and I've been saying it ever since I heard Mark Cadell at the press conference mention that Hemi Ahio will fight. He did mention Guido Vinello, but obviously Mark Cadell didn't watch the weekend before's boxing. Saw Guido Vinello get a massive cut in his eye, so he won't be fighting for it. But you know, I also saw in that press conference that Eddie Hearn said he's going to try to get down here for the fight. He's never been to New Zealand, and I thought, shit, why don't you bring Alan the Savage Babbage down here and get these two guys that like to throw lots of punches with no defense at each other? God damn, that will be some entertainment. And for those of you who don't know, Hemi Ahio is he's only 6 foot, and he could make cruiserweight if he wanted to, but there is a fight on YouTube if you search Hemi Ahio versus Ali. That was Ali. Shit. It's on the Amir Khan card that was on in Saudi Arabia. There isn't. Now I'm gonna have to go. Last fight too. Yeah, but oh no, it wasn't his last fight. His last fight was Joshua Tufty. Ali Kaiden, that's it. Ali Kaiden, German fighter who at the time was 8-0, and I think, look it up, I think he had 100% KO ratio too. I don't know. It might have been at the time. He's got an 83% KO ratio now. I got a rating of one. Definitely German. Only ranked 31st in Germany. Fought 12 bouts, 21 rounds, 83% KO. Record is 11 and 1, and he has 10 KOs. Right, so every fight he's won by KO. And he's a similar sort of fighter to Hemi Ahio. They just go hell for leather until they either get knocked out or knock someone out. And Hemi got him in the first round. But there's also another fight on YouTube of Hemi Ahio. I think Alapati Asa. Go and check that. See what I mean as well. Hemi's last fight was Joshua Tufty. That was in the States on Junior Farbers Ufel Owata card. He stopped Tufty in the second round. A little bit of a step up fight, really. I guess a few people may know who Joshua Tufty is. He's a journeyman kind of guy. He's 19-3, so he can box a bit. Hemi just blew him out of there. 2 rounds. Hemi did fight Julius Long, and that's not a fight I really wanted to see him in. Julius Long is a 7-foot monster. American who's lived in New Zealand for the last 15 years. He's definitely a journeyman level guy, 18 and 21, but he's 7'2", and Hemi here is only 6 foot, so you know he's just about got to jump to punch the dude in the head. So that one went the distance, but it was only a short fight. It was only a Ed Fountain. That was another fight on a junior far undercard, and he knocked out Ed Fountain 7 rounds out of 8 TKOs, knocking them down. Getting to this other one, belt with, there it is, Alapati Asa. At the time, Asa was 6-0, and this fight was fought in Australia. And it only ended up going 2 rounds, but in the second round, Hemi got knocked down, then he got up and he started fighting again. When he got knocked down, he ended up on a knee. He took slumped down to one knee, and then this Asa guy threw a big hook and smashed him while he had a knee on the ground. The ref did fucking nothing about it, but Hemi got up, pissed off, turned around and knocked this dude out. This guy went for the kill. Hemi took a few shots and then ended up landing a couple, and then boom, knocked him just about spark clean out. But that fight is on YouTube as well. If you search Hemi Ahio versus Alapati Asa, I mean, Hemi Ahio is all entertainment. At the current time, he is unbeaten. He only has 11 out of his 16 KOs, but 11 KOs out of his 16 wins. Some of them were shorter fights, so maybe not quite get to what he wants to. I remember watching one of his decision wins. Actually, a couple. Caleb Lamb one went the distance as well. That was only a 6-rounder though, but Caleb Lamb, 6'4" and about 350 pounds. So he was basically a walking punch bag. The other one was Daniel Tai, and that was for the New Zealand title at the time. That one went the full 10 rounds for the title. There was no knockdowns in that fight, but Hemi was wearing some shoes that seemed to be really slippery. Every time he tried to sit down on a punch, feet would slip backwards, so he couldn't get full power on the shots. But even if he could, I'm still not sure he could knock out Daniel Tai. Daniel Tai, for those of you who don't know, boxing isn't his first combat sport. He's a kickboxer. There's a family of heaps of brothers and sisters. They're all very good kickboxers. Daniel Tai, he walks around built like a brick shithouse. He's not very tall. I think he's only like 5'10" or something. Quick look here. Oh, he's only 5'7", but he's about 4 foot wide as well with muscle. But he's got a chin of concrete, that boy. So I don't know if Hemi could have knocked him out even if he had the correct shoes. I suspect also for that junior far Joseph Parker card, we may get our top cruiserweight on there who fights out of Teach Gym, David Light as well. And I've often thought maybe if Hemi can't get a decent opponent, why doesn't he just make the cruiserweight limit and fight David Light. His last fight he weighed 231.5. He's gotten up there a bit, and now it just popped up. Junior Pati is confirmed as his next opponent. Guy City Theatre in Auckland. Okay. And that's on the 13th of November. So wow. That makes no freaking sense. Oh, maybe it does. 13th of November. That would give him basically 4 weeks if he wanted to turn around and fight again on the undercard of Parker versus Farr. So we have St. Brit Sports on the line. How are you today, man? St. Brits, you there, mate? Hello. St. Brit Sports. You're in the chat on the live panel on YouTube. We can't hear you. Did hear something initially. Maybe drop out and then jump back in if you have the time. Sometimes that fixes the mic issue, or maybe you might need to allow your mic on Discord. Come back to you if you managed to. Yeah, you went out and back in. Not hearing anything at the moment. You may have to look at allowing your mic access Discord. Keep trying, mate, and just pipe up whenever you think you've got it sorted if you can. Nah, I'd love to get some of your opinion about whatever you wanted to jump in and talk about, man. But yeah, it looks like Hemia is fighting Junior Putty on the 13th of November at the Sky City Theatre. So hopefully, I think if he fights Junior Putty, I don't think he's going to be lasting more than maybe 2 or 3 rounds. But it's only a 4-round fight anyway, so it wouldn't be too much work. Hopefully there's not too much damage, and we can get to see one of our other heavyweights in action. I mean, if Hemi can get on that card, that'll be New Zealand's top 3 heavyweights on one card. 2 of them fighting each other. And there is another guy actually in New Zealand, Iki Leatali, I think his name is. Let me look him up here. Look at the New Zealand rankings box. The New Zealand rankings of boxer. Number 1, we have Joseph Parker. Number 2, we have Junior Farr. Number 3, we have Hemi Ahio. And here he is, Kiki Toa Leatali. And I think he's a Shane Cameron promoted fighter. At the moment, his record is 7-2. On there. I was wrong. He's 7-2. So why not have the New Zealand number 1 and 2 fighting, right? And then have New Zealand number 3 and 4 fight. Patrick Mailata, I think he may have been number 4, but he took a loss to, was it Devin Vargas? Beat him a few weeks ago. And my memory is failing me these days. So bear with me. Oh no, it was Kingsley Ibe who beat him, that's right. Kingsley Ibe is the guy who had a draw with Guido Vianello. Not the weekend just been, but the one before. And that was a majority decision win over Patrick Mailata. Patrick's way overweight. But if he's around at home, surely as long as number. I don't want to see Mailata very long. Panuve Hilu, he's an all-action fighter too. He fought weekend. Panuve Hilu, I think he used to be a kickboxer as well. Panuve Hilu, but there's another one. Throw Patrick Mailata and Panuve Hilu on there as well. Oh, and there's also another up-and-comer. The son of David Tua is number 8 in New Zealand, Evander Tua. There's a choice of a few heavyweights there to put on the card, but whether they want to get on it or not, no. Evander Tua is only 3-1-1 as a pro so far. Who was this? I remember seeing Panuve Hilu on the schedule the other day. He fought Jason Tuolua, which is somebody I don't know. At the time he was 2-0, and Panuve Hilu knocked him out in 1 round. But yeah, Panuve Hilu is another guy who could make cruiserweight if he wanted to. But he knocked out this beating guy. There are options there. I guess there's going to be issues with different promoters in New Zealand. I mean, David Higgins and Duco don't officially promote Joseph Parker anymore. It's just a management role for David Higgins. I don't think Duco are promoting any other boxers in the country at the moment. So that's what it is. What else have we got to talk about? It looks like Tyson Fury is probably going to be fighting Ajit Kabial in the UK towards the in December sometime. He wants to get another scrap in. It doesn't look like Deontay Wilder's ready or willing to fight in America without a crowd. And I think also Bob Arum doesn't want to throw the potential earnings of maybe 20 million or more from the gate without a crowd. Needs that money to pay the fighters. So I think he's probably happy to let Frank Warren take Fury over to the UK, have a homecoming fight, get something going. But I've seen a bit of discussion around about the immediate rematch clause. I'm pretty sure I heard not long after the February fight between Wilder and Fury that there was a 6-month time limit on a rematch. I don't think COVID-19 or coronavirus was in the contract, so I'm sure they will still fight again. But for me, it sounds like the time limit has well passed for the immediate rematch to be forced. So I don't know. I'm happy to see Tyson Fury get back in the ring. And Ajit Kabial isn't such a bad fight. He can box and move, not too bad. And yeah. Britt in the chat. My bad, mate. Did that by accident. Okay, yeah. It's all good, man. No problem. No problem. But yeah, I'd expect Tyson Fury to win that fight comfortably, considering he's got another bow in his another arrow in his bow these days with a more aggressive style. I'm not sure if he would actually use that against somebody like Ajit Kabial, because he boxes and moves. He moves his head. He's quite wily, so maybe use your range, use your reach advantage. It would work better for Tyson Fury in that situation. So, like I say, it is what it is. If he fights, he fights. If he don't, he don't. But I think it'll probably be good for Fury to keep a bit more active. and somebody like Ajit Kabiel will make him use a bit more of his boxing skill rather than just aggression. So it's always good to sharpen those tools. Anthony Joshua and Hubert Pulev, I still don't think date yet. That should be happening at the end of the year, December sometime. Check. Anthony Joshua box rank. Oh, we do have a confirmed date for it. It's on the 12th of December. Isn't that a Sunday? Oh no, it's a Saturday. That's the day after the Parker fight. Parker bar fight. So that'll be a half decent weekend of boxing. I don't mean that Joshua Pulev is I don't think it's an extremely competitive fight. I mean, pretty much everyone I've spoken to thinks the same. Pulev might be lucky the last 4 rounds. I think Anthony Joshua will blow him out of there. But you never know. Once again, it's heavyweight boxing. I don't think Pulev has a heavy enough hand to do any real damage to Joshua. If Joshua is boxing smart. Sure, he's got a good jab that he could possibly break Joshua down a bit with, but gotta remember Joshua's got fairly heavy hands himself. And there is going to be punches coming back at Pulev. He's not gonna do a Alexander Dimitrenko, is he? So we'll see. Well, we'll just have a quick look. Is there anything else confirmed for that card? Give me a stick. Messing my shit up here. Okay, we've got Lawrence Okoli is confirmed on that card to be fighting Krzysztof Glowacki. Oh, is that for the vacant WBO title? Let's have a look. Yeah, a bit of a hug fest, I imagine. Lawrence Okoli's good at tying up on the inside, and Krzysztof Glowacki's a shorter guy who likes to fight on the inside a bit more. I think he's yeah. Contest 8 rounds. Yeah, vacant WBO world cruiserweight title. That's the title that had to be vacated by who just won the WBSS, Myris Briedis. So Myris Briedis and Krzysztof Glowacki had a fight in the WBSS, and there was elbows and smacking each other on the back of their head, but the fight got turned to a no contest. Glowacki threw a rabbit punch in a clinch behind Briedis' head, and then Briedis retaliated with a blatant full-on elbow to the face that knocked Glowacki to the canvas. He had a little time to recover, but it wasn't enough. He got beat down and stopped after that, and the WBO, pretty sure they changed that fight to a no contest. Maybe they didn't. They hold on a gun. Okay, Krzysztof Glowacki. No, they took the belt off Glowacki anyway. Because belts. Okay, they still let Briedis keep the win, but they made. Oh, that's right. They ordered a immediate rematch, but because Briedis is in the WBSS, his next opponent was Janir Dorticus for the final, so he couldn't do a rematch. Unless he fought through COVID and did it on the sly or something, but he never ended up doing it. And the WBO took that title from him. And Lawrence Okoli and Krzysztof Glowacki, number 1 and number 2 in the WBO, so they are fighting on that card. And as far as BoxRec is concerned, there is nothing else confirmed for that card. It's rating that's Saturday, the 12th of December, which will be a Sunday morning here in New Zealand. And we have our big fight here in New Zealand on Friday night, on the 11th of December. Yes, that is what we've got. So, I guess I'll talk a bit about Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. I just watched the quite entertaining video from Minimax Boxing. Big shout out to the little man. He did a prediction video with his parents, and they were giving their predictions as well. I thought it was quite cool for the young lad to have his parents on there, but his old man, his dad, made a couple of mistakes. He says, I think Timo's gonna win, and I know I like Timo, but I think Lomo's gonna knock him out in 3 rounds. So yeah, I commented on there and said, you know, I hope Timo can get a knockout against Lomachenko, but realistically I think Loma's going to beat him on points. But we'll see. But it's a great fight, man. It's a great fight. It's not for undisputed like many people are saying, because Devin Haney holds the WBC belt. Yes, Lomachenko is the WBC franchise champion, but in the words of Mauricio Solomon himself, it is not a championship, it is a designation. So you cannot be undisputed if you don't hold all 4 recognized belts. And the franchise champion simply is not a recognized belt. It is a recognized, I don't have to fight my mandatories belt, but I can still call myself a champion, even though it is not a championship, it is a designation. But don't get your wires crossed. Man, Loma could have fought Devin Haney. That's mandatory. And had this fight as well and been undisputed champion at 135. Simply not. Even Mauricio Solomon's saying, oh, it will still be undisputed. Sorry, pal. You contradicted yourself by saying in all the confusion that it is not a title, it is a designation. The fight on that. It was never Ritty. Never Ritty's on. Oh. Fury. Fury might be on that as well. Let me look it up. Might be giving you false information. Never spell Tenko's first name right, so we search for Teofimo Lopez instead. Event. What? BoxRec has nothing else confirmed on the card. That's bullshit. I know there's heaps on it. No, I can't talk about it if I don't have the information. Signed in, so all the information should be there. Oh, we ain't got shit. So, it says on BoxRec that it is for the WBA Super World Light WBA Super World Lightweight Champion, the IBF Lightweight Championship, and the WBO Lightweight. No WBC on there, therefore it is not undisputed. It's on my goat when guys don't want to fight their mandatory, whether they're scared or they just don't think they can make enough money out of the fight. Makes no difference to me. If you're a champion, you have obligations as a champion to fight the guys who have earned the opportunity to fight the champion. You want to become a franchise champion and duck out of that responsibility, then you lose the title as champion from that organization, in my eyes. Simple way. David Mason, good to have you in, brother. Is that recent footage of Parker? That is from the open workout in I think it was early December 2017, just before the Alexander Flores fight. After his loss to Dillian White. There's also some interviews that I conducted with Joseph Parker, David Higgins, Kevin Barry. I think they were right back at the start of this channel, and that was pretty much when I started it up, this channel. Man, I don't know if you know much about Parker and Barry, but and Samoans in general, and particularly Joseph Parker. He's a very loyal type. Kevin Barry's been his coach since about 6 fights into his pro career, maybe even less. And I don't think he will ever leave Kevin Barry. When he's in Vegas, he lives in Kevin Barry's house. Tanya Barry, Kevin Barry's wife, is Joe's second mother. You know, they're that tight. So, never gonna happen. I do understand what you're saying, though. I believe Joe would do good experiencing training and coaching under another coach. I don't think Kevin Barry can teach more to Parker than from him. A different angle of coaching is only a positive in my eyes at this stage. And I mean, he's only 28 years old. He's pretty young. Seems like he's been around for a while. But he's got a few years left in him yet, and he's still young enough to learn some new tricks. I did notice earlier on in Joseph's career, he was saying he's only going to box until he's 30 or 31, but now that's stretched out to 35. He wants to be a unified champion by the time he's 35. So he's going to fight a little bit longer. It's quite often the case when a fighter is younger, they think 30 is pretty old. But once you start getting close to it, you feel that old. Not to you. And that's just my opinion, because like I'm 42, I think. Damn shameful, Parker. He could be a complete. He could be a contender. But yeah, I don't know if the aggression thing is Kevin Barry's fault. I think some of that's Joseph Parker's. But another angle of coaching could bring out a better aggression level from Joe. Now I've heard stories about certain things Kevin Barry's tried to do to bring the dog out in Joe. I think it's down to Joe himself while he's with Kevin Barry at the very least. Could be a contender. Well, how it stands, I'm pretty sure Joseph Parker's still considered a contender. He's got 2 losses on his record. One of them, I thought, if he fought Dillian White again, and the ref didn't miss things like headbutts, then I think Joe could beat Dillian quite easily. If you look at those 2 rounds before Joe got headbutted, he was way out boxing, way out quicking, way out moving everything over White. It wasn't until he got clocked in the temple with a big headbutt and he lost his shit. But once again, that comes down to being able to deal with the down and dirty of a dog, isn't it? To a degree. Parker's chin is good. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe his temple's not so good though. Maybe his temple's not that great. I don't know, man. Gareth Hancock in the house. What up, brother? Good to have you, man. Do I know when Parker Far tickets on sale? They're on sale now, man. They're on sale now. Cheapest tickets are $69.95. I don't know. I don't think it's sold out actually. Maybe I'll try and go and have a look right now and see what the ticket sales are doing, where to get them from, and I'll let y'all know. The tickets went on sale the day Auckland moved out of level 2. The day we moved into level 1 lockdown, isn't really a lockdown. Tickets went on sale. Parkerview Far tickets. Stonewood Homes, Parker versus Far, December 11th, Park Arena. Yeah, if you Google Parker versus Far tickets, it comes straight up. Goes to the Duco events site, and let's see. Corporate tables, general admission tickets. Okay, tickets from $69. Available on www.ticketmaster.co.nz. So there you go. That's where you get the tickets. Once again, that's www.ticketmaster.co.nz. I've already got one. No big deal for me whether it's sold out or not. Info, available tickets. Good. Please call the ticket. Blah blah blah. Bill checks. Fuck, who's the just want to buy a ticket shit, man? What the fudge? Well, there's tickets available anyway. You need to find If you need to find it, just go. You'll be able to sort it out. It's not that hard to find. Yeah, ticketmaster.co.nz, and tickets are available there, starting at $69. Which is quite reasonable considering. It's going to be one of the first major events for a while. I mean, we had Bledisloe Cup with rugby yesterday. They had a full crowd for Australia versus New Zealand rugby. Ended up a 13-all draw, which pissed me off. Thanks to Rico Ioane. Just before half time, went to put the ball down, scoring a try with no one in front of him, and fucking dropped it. How embarrassing. Here in New Zealand, when you play rugby in the midgets, which is the tiny little kids, they teach you when you're scoring a try, whether somebody's tackling you or not, always go down on the ball. And this is an All Black. Tried to be smart, look flash, put the ball down with one hand, and dropped it. Lost us the freaking game, boy. I better get off that subject. This is a boxing channel, not a rugby channel. I was disappointed at the experience of going to a fight. I will not do it again. Yeah, I went to the my missus won tickets on the radio to the Flores versus Parker fight, and Junior Farr was also on there fighting. I don't even remember the dude's name, a nobody Italian guy. But I had a media pass, so you know, I was there with my missus. We got all dolled up for the event, and every 10 minutes I was taking off from the chairs up top down into the media center, down onto the floor by the ring and shit, trying to get footage and interviews and whatnot. And my missus had a shit of a time, so this time around I'll probably do a couple of videos on the way there, a video when I get there, and just watch the event myself and enjoy it. Spend some good time with the missus and possibly brother and a couple of mates or something who might come along. But yeah, you want to go as media, or you want to go as a fan. And what did you find that wasn't as enjoyable when you attended a boxing event? Listen, what was stuff that made you comfortable? Ropes block your view. Yeah, you want a stadium seat so you can look down on it, eh? Ringside view, everyone thinks, yeah, ringside's awesome because you're close to the action, but you miss a lot when you're down behind ring posts, behind referees, behind cameras, behind ropes, all that sort of shit, for sure. The apron block your view. Wow. They had the ring up really high from down on the floor. It's terrible. Yeah. Fair enough, David Mason. Fair enough, man. The fact is, you do get a much better view from a TV. You get lots of different angles, you get lots of replays and shit. You get none of that in life. You get none of that. I mean, they've got a big screen there and they show an odd bit of here and there, but why watch stuff on a big screen at the event when you're there to watch the event, not a freaking big screen? The Jumbotron has a better view than what you have as a person in the crowd. Not so fun. So fun. Yeah, you make sure you get a decent seat. Not too close to the ring, but not too far away. It's got a bit of elevation so you don't miss a lot. And if you really want to get a close view, take some binoculars with you as well. Unfortunately, most places you go to watch a fight, if you try and zoom in with a phone camera or something and record it so you can watch it when you get home, people think you're streaming it out of there, and you end up security getting on your ass and kicking you out of the venue. Sucks. Pay for your ticket to watch it, but then you want to watch the replay when you get home. Get to pay for the pay-per-view as well. Look there. Look there. Alright, man. Doesn't look like anybody's keen to jump on today besides St. Britt, who jumped on by mistake. What else is there to talk about? Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin. I forgot when that's scheduled for. Is it the 21st of November? I better look it up. Make sure I ain't got my old man memory fucking shit up for me. Dillian Whyte box rig. Holy shit, my memory served me well. It was. It is the 21st of November. So, shit, that next week. Today here in New Zealand, it's the 12th. Oh no, it's next month. Next month. So let's see if we got anything else on that card yet. Nah, zip, zilch, nada. I imagine we'll probably get a Babbage and Savage fight on there again. We might get a Fabio Wardley fight on there. I don't know. I imagine this one's still going to be behind closed doors in the UK at this stage. I know the UK were looking to trial some events with crowds. Supposed to be in October, but that never happened. So the way things are, it's probably still going to be with no crowds at this stage. It will be, what's this, for the interim WBC championship title. It's a rematch. That WBC interim title is also the mandatory position. As we all know, Dillian Whyte being promised his mandatory shot at the belt holder by February 2021 is out the window since he lost. And obviously the mandatory position has changed hands. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that the WBC won't order their mandatory after the belt holders fights their next fight directly after. So Dillian Whyte still has a job in front of him. Try and avenge his spectacular knockout loss to Alexander Povetkin, and I think he's quite capable of doing it if he uses his reach, boxes smart, doesn't try and go for any kind of knockout, be smart with his counters. He can beat Alexander Povetkin. I mean, to me, prior to the knockout, Povetkin's legs looked pretty slow. His reactions weren't as quick. That's why he was getting caught with those left hooks. He's come into the dusk of his career, so he's got to try and use his craftiness and smartness to get to Whyte again and get on the inside. If Whyte's smart, he won't be trying to counter on the inside too much. He will just tie Povetkin up. Because reality is he's got a substantial height and reach and weight advantage over Povetkin. So if he can keep the range against Povetkin, Povetkin can't touch him. But Dillian's got that fighter dog instinct in him, and I think sometimes he just can't help himself. Particularly in a situation like where he knocked down Povetkin twice in the round prior. Maybe he got a bit cocky, thought, okay, I can get him now. But you look how quick Povetkin got up from those knockdowns. They were like flash knockdowns because he didn't see the punches coming. They weren't that heavy and they didn't hurt him. So Dillian's going to have to fight his fighter instinct to keep it smart against Povetkin. Otherwise, he's going to get beaten again. And this sort of thing does happen to fighters. I think Dillian Whyte is like an overachiever. I mean, he's not that good a boxer. He's quite limited. but he's got so much dog in him and it's carried him through. He has somewhat improved a little bit over the last couple of years, I think, but he's never going to be as good a boxer as Alexander Povetkin has been throughout his career, in my opinion. But I'd be picking probably White to win that one on decision, because he's got to be smart, got to be careful to get that position back to go where he wants to go. If he's ever going to get a world title shot, he's going to have to be smarter and tame that dog a little bit. Tame that dog. You want to see Nigel Benn? Man, I don't want to see that dude in the ring again. Dude's got to give it up. I don't like these old guys. After a career like he had, where he was in so many big battles, it had to have taken its toll. And even this Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight, I think, is ridiculous. Roy Jones hadn't been retired for very long. He fought way too long, and it was for about 10 years that people, every time they saw Roy Jones hopping in the ring, it's like, ooh, cringeworthy. Why is this dude still fighting? He's killing his legacy. Now, fair enough, it is 54-year-old against a 51-year-old. They're both way over the hill. But from what I'm hearing, this quote exhibition match is still going to have 12-ounce gloves, no headgear, and Mike's talking about he wants to knock Roy Jones Jr. out. That ain't no exhibition. That ain't no exhibition, man. So it is what it is, man. That's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own. I might probably still watch Roy Jones and Mike Tyson, but if there's nothing else on, and if they start going hell for leather at each other, I'll probably turn it off. Their careers are finished. Yeah, it's for a good cause, but I sure shit won't be paying for it. Sure as shit, man. Check it. No exhibition. Still working it. Oh man, there's a link up the top if anybody wants to jump on for a yarn. Come and talk anything boxing. I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes before I start thinking about shutting this down. So if you want to jump on, now's your opportunity. Link's right there at the top. Should drop you straight into the Discord chat. And yeah. And I hope him here can turn around quick after this junior party fight. Knock him out in 2 rounds. Turn around 4 weeks. Get on that Far versus Parker card. Excuse me. Drink it. Alright, so go have a look what else is news, since nobody's jumping on at the moment. Already talked about Makhmudov knocking out Dylan Carmen. Spectacular fashion, so covering that again. Boxing scene, see what they got. News story. Fury. Alright, let's have a listen to this story. Hopefully it comes through for y'all. Let's roll.
Tyson Fury, Hussein Manour come together ahead of World Mental Health Day. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury has collaborated with acclaimed poet and mental health practitioner Hussein Manour ahead of World Mental Health Day. The short film, entitled You're Not My Best Friend, is a poem to help tackle the stigma that surrounds drug addiction and to raise awareness about World Mental Health Day. This year, the male suicide rate has hit a 2-decade high in England and Wales. Part of the stigma that exists around mental health for men is that men have greater difficulty talking about their struggles. However, one by one, men are coming forward and openly addressing their problems. Boxers, actors and athletes have all come forward recently to encourage more to do the same. Fury, the two-time heavyweight world champion and current lineal and WBC world champion, represented by MTK Global, Top Rank and Queensberry Promotions, has spoken openly and honestly about the impact lockdown has had on his mental health. After revealing his struggles with alcoholism and recreational drug use, Tyson staged an inspirational comeback in 2018, after 3 years out of the ring, to become world champion again, beating Deontay Wilder at the MGM Grand.
Well, okay, that's not really a story with any anything to really do with boxing, so like that. I'm not into this he says, she says, I'm supporting this, I'm supporting that. I'm interested in the freaking boxing. That's what it is, man. Jerry Warren talks. Lartey vs. Williams. What? Demetrius White Williams. Joyce. Oh yeah, that's the other one I haven't spoken about. Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce. I'm having a hard time with this one, man. I am having a real hard time trying to pick something. I mean, on one hand, we've got the up and coming powerful sensation in Daniel Dubois, who has pretty much no amateur background. We haven't seen him against an opponent the level of anywhere near Joe Joyce. So it's hard to gauge what's going to happen when he's up against somebody who's bigger than him, who likely is going to throw a lot more punches than him, and is likely got a much better gas tank than him. And when I say likely, we just don't know how good Dubois' gas tank is. He is considerably younger. I think he hits considerably harder, and he's got considerably more hype behind him, but that doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. As it stands, from what we know about Daniel Dubois, I'd be inclined to say, sure, he could possibly stop Joe Joyce, but at this stage, I think it's got to be within 6 rounds or 7 rounds, because we just don't know. If Daniel Dubois throwing heavy punches is going to gas him out in that amount of time, he hasn't been tested against somebody who's going to throw a lot of punches and possibly gas him out. So there's going to have to be a lot of movement from Daniel Dubois as well, because Joe Joyce just keeps coming. Keeps coming. And keeps coming. So, I don't know, man. I think it's legit a 50-50 fight. Legit. And I think most people would agree, Daniel Dubois can win in the first half of the fight. He could stop Joe Joyce. But if it goes past 7 rounds, could be in trouble. If he gasses out and Joe Joyce hasn't started slowing down too much, he could wear Dubois down until he just can't hold his hands up, until his body is so sore that he can't take punches to the body. It could happen. Joe Joyce could stop Daniel Dubois. Or possibly beat him on points just through sheer volume. I don't know if Daniel Dubois can win 7 rounds in need without getting knocked down at all. I could certainly see him winning the first 5 rounds. No problem. But any more than that, I think, is pushing it. I could be totally wrong. Shit. He could have a much better gas tank than Joe Joyce, and that would be something phenomenal, because Joe Joyce has a mean gas tank. Mean gas tank. But if he don't, shite dates. Some names at the moment. Daniel Dubois. And it is for the 28th of going at words. Probably gonna video, but it actually has a few minor titles on the line this one. Going to be for the vacant EBU European heavyweight title, also going to be for the Commonwealth British Empire heavyweight title, and it's also going to be for the British Board of Boxing Controls heavyweight titles. So I guess that is that the long style title? How about? I don't know if it is. British Control. So there's 3 titles on the line there, but I expect whoever wins this is probably going to vacate the Commonwealth title, because they are currently running eliminators. In fact, fight over the weekend between Richard Latte and Nathan Gorman was an eliminator for the Commonwealth title. And notice I didn't say final eliminator, so that doesn't mean that Nathan Gorman is now the mandatory for the Commonwealth for an eliminator. So likely he will have to fight a final eliminator. And try and bring English. Great. Tyson Fury, Anthony, Dillian White, Derek Joe. Wow. Fury. These are in order for the Great British rankings. English rank. British, yeah, it is the British title. Long style belt, isn't it? Nathan Gorman. 9. Dave Allen at number 10. Well, I expect if Dave Allen pulls off I would call an upset over Christian Hammer, Nathan Gorman versus Dave Allen isn't a bad shout for the British title. That's the mess to do. But if Christian Hammer beats Dave Allen, which I expect Dave Allen will title, and the next one down the line is Fabio Wardley. I think it's a bit early in his career to be stepping up to fight somebody like Nathan Gorman. However, it's a good fight. Good fight. Fabio Wardley might beat Gorman. Unless David Price, who's above those guys, wants to have another shot at the British title. I mean, even Hughie Fury might end up trying to fight for the British title again. He's been there, done that, but There was lots of people were talking about him potentially fighting Dave Allen. Everybody who heard about that's like, no, what the hell do you want to do that for? You're gonna run around pot shotting a guy that can't touch you all night. What's the freaking point of that? That ain't gonna teach Hughie Fury a goddamn thing. Hughie Fury needs to be in there against somebody who's going to be a bit more aggressive against him. Man, I'd rather watch David Price and Hughie Fury than Dave Allen and Hughie Fury. After that performance that David Price put on against Dave Allen, man, he looked like Muhammad Shades of Ali, didn't he? So let's see. Shades of Ali 2.0 against Shades of Ali, the original, for the British title. I could handle that. I could handle that. But realistically, ain't too many fights Hughie Fury would be in that I'd want to watch anyway. The dude is a horror to watch. If you know somebody who's interested in getting into boxing and Hughie Fury's watching it, don't make them watch that fight, because they won't watch boxing ever again. Alright, man. Looks like nobody else is going to join today, so I'm going to wrap it up there, and hope you all enjoyed, and catch you up. So that's it for Big Boys Boxing for today. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you have, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so not to miss future content. If you'd like to get more involved with the channel, get on the live panel, you can jump over here on the channel and find this Discord invite icon. If you hit that, it will take you to the Discord server. And over here we have multiple ways of getting involved. Firstly, for the live panel, there's this live panel voice channel here. You simply click on it and you're in. Down the bottom here, you got your mic, unmute, and you see your green rings when you're talking, and you're away. You can mute when you're not speaking, and to get out, you hit this hang up button. Simple as. Also, we have live fight streams here. Sometimes I will stream a fight to this channel. You can come in here. You can't speak in this channel, obviously, and there will be a video box here somewhere. You just double click on it and it goes straight into what I'm streaming, and out you go. Also here we have watch BBB games. Sometimes I'll stream my Fight Night Champion games here, or Fight Night Gym. Myself and a few others who are in the Fight Night Club sometimes stream our games to this channel, so you can come and watch. You're quite welcome to. Up here we have general chat. This is where we all talk about boxing with what's going on. Everybody's welcome there. We have live fight links here. If I have a link to a fight, I generally drop the links here within 24 hours once I find the link, so you can come and find links here. Fight replays as well. As you can see, I drop YouTube links here if I have them. This one's for the Serenko fight that happened over the weekend, and also I recorded the Fabio Woodley fight, so you can come and click this and you can watch that there as well. There's also the Fight Night chat here, but that's for guys who are interested in playing Fight Night Champion and talking about strategies, how to build fighters, all that sort of thing. But it's easy to get involved, so all you have to do is get over to the to the Big Boys Boxing homepage and this Discord icon here. Also there's links here for Twitter and Facebook. I don't drop a lot, but news channels, news stories that I don't cover, sometimes I drop the links there, and also a donation link here for anybody who'd like to support the channel. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed, and I shall catch you next time. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. So